Okay, so we're back for our second cooking show. We'll get the hang of this. Tonight we're going to cook dinner. We're not going to cook one dinner, but two dinners. This is tonight's dinner. Turkey with tomato cream sauce. These are turkey cutlets served with a nice cream sauce on top of spaghetti. Really super easy to make. 528 calories for this whole plate right here. Nice and healthy. And dinner, this turkey with tomato. If you live alone, you have 3 lunches for the rest of the week. So we're gonna go ahead and Ziploc bag. Some chicken breast. We have 4 pieces of chicken breast here. We have some nice chicken breasts here. You can use chicken thighs. This serves 4, so I want you to cut them into pieces about like this. So this is going to be 2 portions here. Because look at the size of this thing. Good heavens. Nobody needs that much meat. Alright, just cut that in half. Next, we need a cup of white wine. There's 2 things you need to know about wine. First, never cook with wine you wouldn't drink. If it's so bad you won't drink it, you're not going to like what it makes in your dish. Second, it doesn't have to be expensive. Good wine doesn't have to be expensive. This is $3.86. You're not going to serve it at your wedding. Maybe you will, but it's perfectly drinkable wine. So we're going to pour 1 cup of that into the Ziploc. Then we're going to put in 2 cloves of garlic minced. Note about garlic. Pre-minced is perfectly fine. And a clove is a teaspoon-ish. We like garlic. We're very generous with our garlic. Okay, so we're going to put that. Then we're going to take an onion and we're going to slice. Take off the chunky end and we're just going to slice. This is just half of an onion. Got all the brown bits taken off. Don't be fancy, but do use a sharp knife. And remember, your knives are sharp. We're just going to break this up into the bag. Okay, there's that. Half a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Bay leaves. Get fresh herbs. These are $1.98 at almost everywhere in the produce section. A couple bay leaves. This is fresh thyme. This is the most difficult part of any recipe that has fresh thyme in it. I'm just going to scrape like this with my fingernail. Get as much of the leaves off as possible. Throw the stem away. Chop this up real quick. Okay, I want a whole teaspoon of that. Alright, that's it. This is going to go like this. I'm going to refrigerate this for at least 4 hours, so you can make this at lunch and have it for dinner. You can freeze it for up to 24 hours, so you can make it today and cook it tomorrow. Just turn it over now and then like this in the refrigerator. Tomorrow, you're going to dump that entire bag into a pan, a baking dish. Bake it at 375 degrees until the chicken's done. And the onions are nice and caramely, crispy. Take off the top onions here. Now this dish has 184 calories in this chicken part here. So to plate this, I have some quinoa. You can make rice. You make rice-a-roni. You make whatever you want. Little side dish there. A half a cup of quinoa has 111 calories. Key to maintaining a good diet is always portion control. This, we like dark meat, so this is a thigh. A little bit of this. Okay. This is a steamer bag of broccoli. You stick it in the microwave for 5 minutes. And you pour nice cooked broccoli out of it. A cup of broccoli has 30 calories. Finally, I'm just going to sprinkle the whole thing with a little more salt and a little more pepper. And there you have dinner. That whole dinner comes to 325 calories and is really quite tasty. So, and it's super easy. Okay, so now I'm going to start our turkey and tomatoes. First thing we need is half of a shallot. This is a shallot. You'll find it in the produce section next to the onions. I'll take off the brown bits, just an onion skin. You see this nice purple skin underneath, and it's got 2 lobes. Okay, there's always a smaller and a larger one. We're going to use the larger one. We've got one already peeled here. And this, just going to slice off. I'm going to take off anything that's skin, any of the brown part, because that's just like onion skin, not terribly tasty. We're just going to slice this nice and thin again. I do not do fancy chopping. I don't have fancy knives. Okay, I have a couple fancy knives. They were gifts. Okay, once we have this done, we're going to put it in this bowl. I'm going to take these apart and have them there in these rings. And take out any of the center hard part, because that stays hard. These are onions, or from the onion family, and you may tear up. They're not for very long. These have a sweeter taste than onions. They don't have the acidy bite. Okay, so there we have one large sliced half of a shallot. Okay, next thing we need, is sage. I'm going to use fresh sage. Again, this is in your produce section. And these are about $1.98 a package. And sage, besides smelling really nice, has the characteristic of being fuzzy. It's soft to pet. And we're just going to make 1/4 cup of sage leaves. I'll tear the bigger ones in half. I'm not going to pack this 1/4 cup. I'm just going to have a few. All right. This over here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is prepare the dredge. This is 1/2 cup of plain flour and a tablespoon of cornstarch. Just stir those together. These are both thickeners for the sauce. The flour also acts as a breading for the turkey. Cornstarch thickens a little better than flour, so you don't need as much. Mix those in there together. Right there. Okay, and now we're going to make a tomato. We want 2 tomatoes about this size. Cut it into quarters and then slice a little off. Now, we don't want the seeds. So I'm going to take half of this at a time over to the sink. And I'm going to rinse it with cold water. And I'm just going to go in between the meat and the skin and take out all of the seeds. A nice quick process, and it doesn't have to be perfect. many seeds as you can out. Okay. We're going to come back here and we're going to slice these. It's got a little. Go this way and then this way a couple times. Bigger chunks. And 2 tomatoes worth. And take out any stem bits. Just get rid of those. Nobody wants to eat a piece of wood. I'll show you how good this is when we're done. I have a teenager to volunteer to taste it. It's actually her very favorite. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask the moderator. He's over there waiting. Okay, that's our fresh stuff. In addition to that, we have a cup of chicken broth, a quarter of a cup of heavy cream. This heavy cream was frozen and thawed, so it's a little bit chunky. It worked just fine. A half a cup of white wine, and a quarter of a cup of oil. I use avocado oil. It has a higher temperature cook than olive oil, but you can use olive oil, you can use canola oil, use your favorite oil. Okay, so we're done with the vegetables. Now we're going to do the turkey. I have here a pound of turkey breast, all in one piece. We dissect our own turkey, but you can also now buy turkeys, the breast pieces in the meat section at Fred Meyer, Yolks. I've seen it at Winco here and there. Oh, and the turkey, and then we have one more thing. So let me get my bowl. So this turkey, we're going to make 8 cutlets. A cutlet is bigger than a nugget and smaller than a steak. I'm going to cut that. We want them to be relatively even in thickness. All right. So if you have any stragglers, cut it off. Okay. I'll wash my hand real quick and then we'll get back to this. Because I forgot the cheese. We want a quarter of a cup of fresh Parmesan. Yes, you can use pre-made Parmesan. No, it will not be as good. And this only takes a minute. I'm just gonna this is a half cup measure, so I want it about half full.
Should you use the microplane? Goes faster.
It goes faster, but this melts better. This is the perfect size for sprinkling on your spaghetti and melting into the sauce. There. Quarter cup. Not hardly any time at all. And now I'm gonna get the turkey ready. What I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna turn my pan on so that it's hot when I put the turkey in it. I'm gonna put that on about medium high. I'm gonna let it get warm while we do this. Sprinkling this, there's a half a teaspoon of salt and a quarter teaspoon of pepper. I'm gonna turn this over. Continue on each side. Okay, now we're going to dredge. And dredging is always fun. I'm just gonna put this in the flour and cornstarch mixture and cover it. Get it all. Gooey. Now, this is gonna do two things. First, the flour is gonna make a coating on this, a breading type thing on this turkey. And then the flour and the cornstarch are gonna work together to thicken our sauce so that we don't have to add additional thickeners. Okay. There we are. That's our turkey already. I'm going to take it over to the pan and we're going to move the camera while I wash my hands. Okay. So here we have two pans. One is a pot of boiling water because this is served over spaghetti. And right here I have 8 ounces by weight of spaghetti. Get a diet scale. They're $8 and they're so worth it when you're trying to portion correctly. Now then, I'm going to put half of this quarter cup of oil into the pan, which has been over here warming up. You can hear it pop just a little because it's nice and hot. We're going to put the turkey in. Be careful because it's hot. The bigger piece in the middle there so it cooks. Now, leave this alone for 2 or 3 minutes. If you play with it too much, it'll stick, and you don't want it to stick to the pan. So, this dish, it is very important to have everything ready before you start cooking. It's better to do that with most dishes because then you can just cook and be done. But with this one, it's really important because things are going to start going really quickly here. And you take one piece out and you put the next in and then the next, and then it's just, if you're done with your turkey and you're still slicing your shallots, your turkey's going to burn. And we're going to put this sage into this pan real quick. And you don't want that to burn, I promise. I'm going to put a little salt in my water here. The key to perfect spaghetti is to wait until that is at a rolling boil before you do anything to it. We're going to Leave this here until it's nice and golden on one side, and then we're going to turn it over, make it nice and golden on the other side. It's going to get a little bit boring, so if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. This is served. When it starts to just pop off, is when it's getting done on one side. And I like this stainless steel pan for this because you can make the sauce in it. And I'll show you when we get there what's so nice about it. But you can use cast iron or non-stick, whatever you have. Turn these over. We've got a nice golden crispiness on that. Some of these are a little bit thicker. We want them brown on all the sides. So I'm going to turn it so that that little edge, stand it up on edge for a second and it gets cooked too. See how pretty that is? And once it's cooked through, it is going to go back in the sauce when it's done. But it's going to cook in the sauce for 10 minutes. And that's just to get it nice and tender. So we made 8 of these cutlets out of a pound of turkey. I'm going to put 2 of the cutlets, roughly a quarter pound on each plate. That one you can just stand up on end and get that white part crispied up. That one's ready. Just want these to be brown all the way around. Starting to look tasty. Just 3 or 4 minutes on each side. Thinner ones a little less, thicker ones a little more. Get them all browned all around. And I'm just going to put them over here in a dish. As they get done. Okay. All right, now put the rest of this oil in. I'm going to put this sage in. I'm going to just stir this real quick. Get it all covered in oil. And oh, that smells so good. We want this to get crispy. It's going to be a topping. When it's done, we're going to put it on this napkin. Okay, so it's starting to brown. That's perfect. This, get that out of there. And over here. All of that out. So we're going to leave the oil in. Okay. That's going to drain off there. And now we're going to put the shallots in. You can see why it's important to have everything ready ahead of time now. That probably took any time, and now the shallots go right in, and we don't want them burnt. I'm going to turn this down a little bit to medium. And we're just going to soften these. Just a couple minutes. These really have a nice smell. They don't smell like onions. A little bit. You want them to get nice and soft. You can't turn the fan on because it'll drown out everything I say. So you should have your fan on while you're cooking. There, nice and soft so that it gets limp. It gets wilty. And now we're going to stand back and pour the wine in. And you can see why we stand back while we do that. Now, this is where the stainless steel pan is nice. I want everything off of the bottom of that. I want all of those flavors that have been percolating and getting together down there in my sauce. So I'm just going to take my wooden spoon and I'm going to scrape the pan while this cooks. And I'm going to cook this a couple minutes until that half cup of wine becomes about a quarter cup. And those shallots become even gooier and they caramelize a little bit in the wine. See why this is so delicious, eh? Now, this recipe came from Southern Living. And it's one of our favorite turkey recipes. Just gonna keep stirring, keep getting stuff off the bottom and side of the pan. And we reduced that by about half. And now, another reason to have everything prepped, the last thing to go in is pretty much everything else. So, start with broth, tomatoes, heavy cream, stir all that. And I'm going to put the turkey back in. You get this turkey covered in that sauce. And the reason we're going to do that is because we want that sauce to wash some of the coating off of the turkey, the flour and the cornstarch, and use it to thicken. All right. Now, I'm going to turn this back up to medium-high. I'm I'm going to bring it to a bubble, and I'm going to have it bubble for 10 minutes. Now my water is boiling over here. I'm going to put my spaghetti in there. They'll both finish about the same time. I'm going to show you what I mean by a bubble. And then have our tasting. Okay, so it's starting to bubble. Again, you want the turkey under the sauce. Okay. These tomatoes are going to be soft. This tomato is a little bit green. You can use a riper one. Don't use a squishy one because it has too much juice and your sauce won't get thick enough. And that's why you take the seeds and the juice out too. Okay, so here's what we want it to look like. Just bubbling throughout. I'm going to turn it between medium, high, and medium. And we're going to leave it like that for about 10 minutes. And then our pasta will be done, our sauce will be done, and we're going to take and put some pasta on a plate, put 2 turkey cutlets and some sauce on top. We're going to sprinkle these up like this and sprinkle them over the top, and then sprinkle a little Parmesan with them, and we're going to end up with this delicious thing. Are you ready for the taste test, miss? We'll move that back over there for just a sec. And I'll get a fork and a knife for her.
We're watching. I'm tasting this.
You're tasting it. Yes. This is number 3 daughter. My makeup artist. My makeup artist, Kelby.
Which one is this?
This is the turkey and tomato cream sauce. Kelby's my pickiest eater. I have a 5-year-old and Kelby's still my pickiest eater.
Okay.
You're allowed to cut that.
I did cut it.
I meant the spaghetti.
Weird people cut spaghetti. Whatever.
Apparently she likes it. So, here's your turkey and tomato cream sauce.
There you go.
There you go. That's your dinner, by the way.
Thank you.
So in 2 weeks, we will be making a sweet again. We're going to make a carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. And it'll be super simple. It'll be almost as simple as the Tannies. except for the cream cheese frosting, which is also super simple. It's got 3 ingredients. So we look forward to seeing you, and we're going to put this on YouTube later. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.